Hey everybody, this is Jim at Broadfield Distributing. Today I want to give you a channel update from Grass Valley, talk to you about some new promotions, new products, and new opportunities that we have available from Grass Valley at Broadfield Distributing. The first thing we're going to talk about is the ADVCG1 special promotional offer that we just started with them. Then we're going to go into a new model on the T2 iDDR disc recorders. We're going to talk about the Grass Valley Nvision routers for audio-video applications, and we're going to talk about the Kaleido Multiviewers. I'd like to start off with the ADVCG1. The ADVCG1 is their any-in to SDI out multi-converter, up-down cross-converter. It has a frame synchronizer built into it, and it is a great tool for use in schools, houses of worship, corporate boardrooms, or digital signage. We've bought in a ton of these right now, and we have a special promotional MSRP of $950. It's a great opportunity to reach out to your installed base of anyone who's using legacy equipment, and they want to incorporate that equipment into a modern HD SDI workflow. We've worked with Sean Lamb at Streaming Media Producer to put together a tutorial video to tell you a little bit more about that. Let me have Sean introduce you to the product now.
Grass Valley markets this converter as an any-in to 3G SDI converter, but specifically they mean it's an HDMI input, DVI input, and analog video input converter. So the DVI-I stands for integrated, the I part of it. And integrated includes both analog and digital, both single and dual link DVI standards. So the DVI digital side isn't too terribly exciting. It's very similar to HDMI. But for me, the exciting part is the A side, the analog side, because it can be converted to VGA input using a very simple adapter like this one here that has DVI on one side and VGA on the other side.
From what Sean talked about, this slide will show you some of the inputs here with HDMI, component, composite, S-video, analog audio, AES EBU, DVI, and reference in. The unit does have a built-in frame synchronizer, full format support, and up conversion to HD or SD SDI output in either 3G or 1.5G. Sean's also going to talk to us a little bit about the signal processing that's built into the ADVCG1.
There are a few different options available in terms of signal processing, and two of the interesting ones are a 3D NR, or 3D noise reduction. And so this is really useful when you're working with compressed codecs, generally on playback from a non-live source. If your source camera is a small sensor type of camera, a 1/3-inch sensor, or if you're working in high gain or high ISO environments, or even when you're up converting from an analog source to that digital or frame size. All of those scenarios can produce a little bit of noise or a lot of noise when you're up converting and processing. So using a bit of noise reduction really goes a long way, and it's important when you're webcasting, especially because you're using a very small bitrate and compressed codec, high compression ratio, and the more noise takes away from your details. The higher signal to noise ratio, the better. The second image processing feature is image enhance, and that's a detail enhancement. It increases the sharpness. And so you don't want to be using that in conjunction with a high noise environment, but if you already have a very clean signal to begin with that's noise free, you may want some additional sharpness in there.
So I have a box here in front of me that show you all of the different input connections on it. With the HDMI down here, your DVI input, and then your analog connections as well. Sean's going to show us the unit actually working with the LED indicators as these inputs are active.
The Grass Valley ADVCG1 converter has a variety of different inputs on the front here, and the active input is selected on the back. We'll go into that in a moment. There's dials and dip switches to control the settings, but the active setting on the front is indicated by an LED light. It's solid when that input is active and stable, and it's flashing when you've selected that input as your input of choice, but the input is not stable or not there yet. There's also a light for the up conversion. There's video input lights and audio input lights that indicate whether the signal is stable, selective but not active yet. and if the up conversion is turned on.
And finally, the back of the unit, where you will have these two rotator dials and a series of dip switches to allow you to configure the input and output settings on the ADVCG1, with a handy reference on the bottom of the unit to show you exactly how these dip switches work. This will be our last cut over to Sean to show you a little bit more about these as well.
On the back of the converter, there's three things I want to talk about. The first is the locking mechanism on the power adapter plug. So I can't unintentionally pull this out, but if I retract the sheath here, it pulls out fairly easily. The second thing I want to talk about on the back of the unit are the audio and video select buttons located right here and here. These are dials that need to be manually turned using a precision screwdriver. And the reason we have these here is because the unit does not have an auto detect or select feature, and there's no external buttons to toggle between the available inputs. The inputs, the cheat code for that is on the back of the unit here, so it walks you through which inputs are available and which number they correspond to. And finally, that brings us to the third thing on the back of the converter, which is the selections for the dip switches. Now, the dip switches allow you to switch signal processing. So whether it's the output resolution you want to adjust, or the signal processing like image enhancing or noise reduction, those are controlled in the back here.
Thanks, Sean. As far as converters go, you'll see the ADVCG1 is as versatile as it gets. If you need to incorporate your legacy equipment in either a school, house of worship, corporate boardroom, or digital signage into an SDI workflow, this is the right product. At a $950 promotional MSRP, you want to start these things in while those supplies last. We've bought a bunch in from Grass Valley, but we do expect them to sell quickly. The next product I want to talk about is this larger box in front of me here, which is the T2 Express. This box specifically is the T2 Express, but it is available in three models, either the Express, the Pro, or the Elite, where the only difference being is the storage and the amount of video that it can record to the unit. The T2 is a digital recorder and player device that can handle pretty much any format coming into it to incorporate into a legacy workflow. This product is great in applications for house of worship, for schools, and once again, we've worked with Streaming Media Producer to have another video tutorial, this time from Paul Schmelzer. Let me introduce that to you now.
T2 from Grass Valley is a complete self-contained AV playout appliance designed to be rack-mounted. On the front, you'll find a 7-inch LCD touchscreen, USB ports, 1/4-inch headphone jack, and hardware shuttle controls, just like a traditional VTR. Having a familiar interface like this helps if your church uses inexperienced volunteers. The rear of the unit houses a litany of ports and connections. Analog audio can be sent and received with XLR, while digital audio can be accessed with AES EBU. BNC SDI connections and DVI-I are available for video signals. There are 2 ports for Ethernet, allowing operators to transfer files to and from the T2 over the network or FTP.
So the T2 is a digital disc recorder made by Grass Valley for use in professional environments. Guaranteed there's going to have the storage necessary in order to maintain the throughput required for video. That's why they have this unit available in 3 different versions. This unit again is the T2 Express version 2. In the version 2, they've upgraded the hard drive storage where the base model now has 2 times 500 gigabyte hard drives. So it's 1 terabyte of total storage, or about 14 hours of HD video storage. The next step up is the T2 Pro. The T2 Pro gives you the same amount of usable storage, but across 4 drives in a RAID 10 configuration. The RAID 10 is going to add the redundancy so that now you constantly have a backup of that storage in mission critical situations. The T2 Express is about $13,000 MSRP, where the T2 Pro is about $16,000. Then there is the T2 Elite. The T2 Elite offers 2 by 1 terabyte SSD drives, giving you twice the amount of storage in even faster speeds in an SSD format. This is especially useful in cases where you're working with ultra high definition or more file-intensive formats. The T2 Elite has an MSRP at about $20,000. Broadfield does have all 3 of these versions in stock and can fulfill the orders quickly. Next, we're going to talk about the Grass Valley Nvision compact routers. The Nvision routers are audio-video routing devices that are built to fit into a very small space. These units are available in anywhere from a 64 by 64 configuration to an 8 by 8 configuration, and pretty much everywhere in between. We've personally found the sweet spots to be the 16 by 4 and the 32 by 4 configurations, as you'll see in these 2 columns referenced here. The Nvision routers start at about $1,300 and go up in price according to the inputs and outputs necessary for your application. If you're working with a customer on a quote or a bid and you need some help honing these down to what would work best in the application, you could give Rich, Dan, John, or Angel a call, and we can also work directly with Grass Valley to make the right recommendation for you and for your customer. Finally, I want to talk about the Kaleido Multiviewers. We also have these available now at Broadfield Distributing, and there are a few different models available. The first is the Kaleido Solo. The Solo is a high-quality video and loudness monitoring with 3G, HD, SD, SDI to HDMI conversion. This unit has a $2,000 MSRP. Next is the X Quad. This is a real simple standalone quad multi-viewer that you can incorporate into a lot of different applications, whether it's a kiosk, digital signage, or any type of video wall type applications where you need a quad multi-viewer. This unit has a $5,000 MSRP. Last is the Kaleido MX. The MX is a high-quality, pre-configured model with a multi-viewer of up to 64 by 4. We do have modular Kaleido multi-viewers available as well and can work with you on quoting those. For those who don't need to get into that modular input and output capability, the Kaleido MX is the perfect solution for a pre-configured multi-viewer that you can easily outfit into your customer's installation. These units start at about $13,000, and again, we can get you sales presentations, data sheets, pricing references, and cross-reference charts to help you close those sales. If you have any questions on the ADVCG1, the T2, the Nvision routers, or the Kaleido Multiviewers, just give Broadfield a call. Those questions that we can't answer, we can help get you on the phone with someone at Grass Valley who can. Our number is 800-634-5178. We hope you enjoyed the Grass Valley channel update today, and we look forward to you selling lots of products. Thanks.